Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. Oh, hell no.
Hi guys, it's Yanni and I'm back with another video. So in today's video, I decided that I'm going to be reacting to this roommate YouTube video that is titled Derrick Jaxn Explains Why Men Lose Out on Good Women. So I wanted to react to this video because I feel a lot of us are leaving relationships, we're leaving karmic relationships, we're leaving karmic marriages, and we are basically going through a transition of ending something with someone and now we're looking to something new. But sometimes that's hard to do when you feel like you were a good woman to this man, or you were even a good man to this woman. So I decided that I'm going to be reacting to this video. Let's go ahead and get right into it. You know, I just gotta pour a little something. Just a little something.
Across that girl, we come across the girls and like, oh, whatever, but we come across that one that we identify like, nah, she's really here to love me. Like, this is really my friend. This is really a cool chick. Like, not just in the female exclusive context, but really just a person. And then felt lost with her. That's how you know you are strictly groomed in one lane and for one game only. You're not even ready to handle something serious should it come your way. So whenever, like, if I talk to a guy, like most times, man, dudes be hitting me up all the time. They're not so overt in the comment sections and all. You know, we just kind of listen and receive information differently. But guys are constantly in my inbox like, yo, D, man, I done came across a real one, dog, and I'm trying to understand her. But man, I don't know, man. She's saying this and she's saying that, because they've never really listened before. And you don't get things right the first time typically. You know what I'm saying? Whether you drive in or whatever. So you got all these permits and stuff like that. Typically when you approach something serious for the first time, you don't get it right. But there's so many people approaching the real thing, the big stage for the very first time. They just say, you know what, I'm just going to wing it. And then guess what? Who gets hurt? The person that they're winging it with. The person who was groomed from a very young age to know how to love a man, take care of a man, give her all, now has a man who's a complete rookie to this situation. Now, the best of us will say, yeah, you know what? Before we even consume her on any level, have sex with her, get what we want from her, we say, no, I'm totally not ready for this. But unfortunately, a lot of us don't do that. You know, because we say, oh, I don't even want to risk losing her, then somebody else gonna get her. That's what I did, 19 years old. Nah, man, nah, this is my blessing right here. I'm just gonna figure it out. And it don't work like that.
No, that's really good. Now, that's something that, that selfishness is something that I realize that it's like something that I've noticed a lot of guys do, and it's not good, but I understand why they do it. Because like you said, you get to the point where you realize this is an amazing one in a million woman, but then you yourself know you're not ready for her.
Right.
But you don't. But the thing is that us men are selfish, you know, and we're possessive.
I have to ask, when men say they're not ready, I really want them to explain in what way. Like, in what way are you not ready? Is it financially? Is it mentally? What is it exactly? Because men always say they're not ready, but they never really explain. You know how it is with men. They never really explain. What do you mean by you're not ready? Can someone explain that? Or if you are a woman and maybe you've had a man explain to you what they mean when they say they are not ready.
And we want no one else to have it.
100.
You know what I mean? So,
Drake say it all the time.
you know, so we'll keep it
That's toxic.
ourselves, but then we're still doing the crazy stuff on the side because we don't want no one else to mess her up. We're cool messing other people up, and we're cool with us messing her up.
Right.
And so I see that's something that's extremely unhealthy. So how did you get to that point where you realize, I mean, obviously the losing of her, but like, how did you get to that point, and then and what steps did you take to become the man that you were today? Because I feel like a lot of guys are in that position. As much as women want to say, a lot of guys are these savages and just don't care. A lot of guys do care. We have our humans, we have feelings,
for sure.
and when we mess things up, we know,
right?
And we're hurt, and we're upset, and we're sad. And some of us hopefully want to do things differently the second time around.
Right.
So before the people do it wrong the first time around, what would be your advice to people that helped you become the man that you are today?
Okay, because you went two different questions.
I know.
Well, you spoke to something, man.
Yeah.
A lot of men, myself included, we learn by pain. We learn by loss. So when I lost everything, it forced me to reckon with myself. And I hated the feeling of looking in the mirror and not being able to respect the man that was looking back at me. There was nobody to front for. Ain't no homeboys high-fiving because I lost love, and I really didn't give a shit if they did. I was like, like that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. I had become a better person just in that 3-year span of trying to love her. Like, I only can imagine if I had loved her correctly, brought out the best in her, and how that would have reciprocated. So me just being honest, like me not going to any vices, me not just saying, you know what, I'm going to play myself into thinking that it's really lit just to be with different girls and I find another her. Like, I just couldn't lie to myself. You know what I'm saying? So I think that harsh reality, that brutal honesty was really the starting point, and that's where a lot of guys still are not. Not even a matter of character, it's just like they're still in denial almost. And women are guilty of this as well. You see women in relationships with guys that ain't gonna change, and they're in denial though. Yes, he will. He'll figure it out, etc., etc. I think just getting rid of that denial is the first major step. After that, reverse engineering all the things that went wrong, and then rooting back to like what caused it.
Reflection.
So I had to go back to what caused the lack of sexual discipline.
He reflected
a lack of discipline. It was actually something I was looking for, a void I was trying to fill. My dad wasn't there, and I'm not one of those that uses that as an excuse, because like I said, if I had that, honestly, I should have never gotten into a relationship. So I don't want to at all defer responsibility of my actions to my dad not being there. But because he wasn't, I never felt like I was good enough. Because I never felt like I was good enough, I was always looking for that instant gratification of feeling wanted and desired. Now, in a relationship, you're going to have both ups and downs, right? So you got one person that you're dependent on in a relationship to make you feel loved. Like, they'll never fulfill that 100% of the time. At times, you're not even going to feel like you even like that person. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have arguments. They're going to be fighting their own personal battles. They're going to have ups and downs on their own that they're struggling with. So at times, there's going to be distance. There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be a gap between the two of you where you're like, man, like, maybe this ain't really it, or maybe they ain't feeling me today. So if you were putting that person in a void they were never big enough to fill in the first place, and then you have that situation, now that Band-Aid gets ripped right back off. So now what do? You're probably going to do the thing that you always did before. Go be up in somebody else's face. And again, it may not even be sexual, because long before it became physical for me, it was definitely emotional. I want to feel agreed with. I want to feel, I don't necessarily say coddled, but I want to feel welcomed in somebody's presence, and I didn't always feel that in a relationship. Again, that is normal. That is supposed to happen, but you're supposed to work through it. But then you're supposed to have the discipline. You're supposed to come in healthy and whole, so you can handle those situations. But I wasn't there. So this is just one situation out of many. There was a lot of work I needed to do in order to be ready for a relationship. But once I reverse engineered where that pain came from, why I was constantly, like, I did the exact same thing, and it was only in those moments. It was never like, man, I'm just out here dealing with different girls because I think I'm that lit. It was always in the middle of a really bad argument, hard conversation that we needed to have, but I didn't want to have it, or I didn't want to take initiative, that now I'm over here just talking to somebody else and I feel better, and now that develops into something.
So you guys, that was a short clip. I'm gonna leave the link to this video down below in my description box. You guys should really check out the YouTube channel Roommate. They make really good content. It's well balanced. I don't feel like it's biased. It's definitely opinionated, but I really like their content, and to me, I feel like men and women can both enjoy the content that they produce. I feel like it's educational and it's eye-opening, and it also gives you a new perspective to think about when you watch their content. So some things that I want to talk about when we watch this particular clip, and this clip is literally only 6 minutes long, but this is like their YouTube channel where they post different clips from their podcast. But I really wanted to highlight that sometimes it's the woman losing out on a good man, and sometimes it's a man losing out on a good woman. So in this case, this was coming from Derek Jackson, a man man where he felt like he lost out on a good woman. And so a lot of times when we are in these toxic relationships, karmic relationships that are supposed to teach us karmic lessons, we feel like we did something wrong, it was us. Maybe it's not you, but you were supposed to learn something from the situation. And it's also nice to hear this man really break it down for us to understand in a way to where we know, okay, we really didn't do anything wrong. There were certain things or issues that this person or this man was dealing with internally, and we can go back and sit down and literally go through everything, right? We can give ourselves as women, the good women, anxiety, right, about how everything played out, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't you. Nothing you could have done could have changed the outcome, because this was an issue. There were issues that this man was dealing with, and it had nothing to do with you. And sometimes we as women, we're in denial. We feel like this person, oh, he's gonna change, he's gonna come around, he's gonna come around. And there are women that will stay for months, years, and there are certain women that will leave. In my opinion, I believe in leaving. I don't believe in staying, because at the end of the day, this person, you can't really depend on them changing. And then also, you can't depend on them changing with you. Sometimes people are supposed to change by themselves or with someone else. So maybe he was supposed to meet someone else, get his heart broken by this person in order for him to change for you. Sometimes I've seen it like that. I'm not saying that you should bank on this man returning back to your life, but you should bank on the fact that it wasn't you and that you should move on, and maybe you'll meet someone better. Maybe you'll meet someone that knows up front that you are a good woman, and it's not something that they have to think about, guess about, or go through 10 other women to understand that you are a good woman. So I wanted to talk about this on my platform. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you lost out on a good man or you lost out on a good woman? Make sure you comment down below. In my opinion, I've never felt like I missed out on a good man. I felt like all my relationships or situationships or encounters with men, somehow I ended up getting played or done dirty somehow, some way. I don't feel like there was a good man that came into my life that got away. I don't feel that way. I haven't met my match yet. I'm not saying this like, oh, I'm perfect. No, after every situation that I've ever went through, relationship, situationship, or whatever, I feel like there were things that I learned from the situation, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like I missed out. I'm the type of person where I feel like anything can be worked out, right? But I don't feel like I've been in a situation where I've missed out. So I want to know, what are your thoughts on this situation? What are your thoughts? Are you the woman that you feel got away? Or do you feel like you're the woman where you feel like you missed out on a good man? Comment down below. But like I said, so far I feel like I just haven't met my match. I don't have any regrets with any man that I've ever encountered, dated, or whatever. I don't feel like I've ever missed out as of yet. Not saying that it won't ever happen, but I'm saying as of today, I don't feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I'm definitely the girl that gets away for whatever reason, and it's actually been told to me a few times. So comment down below, because one thing I don't do is settle. I don't believe in settling. So if you are a good woman and you don't settle, I think it's kind of typical that you could be 20 something years old and you feel like you are the one that got away. Because again, I don't feel like you should ever settle. The main issue that I keep running into when it comes to dating is it just seems like with this generation, people lack emotional intelligence, emotional maturity, and just emotional vulnerability. I just feel like people don't want to really connect. They want to connect physically, of course, but they don't want to connect emotionally. And I'm the type of person, I'm the type of woman where I have to have that emotional connection to even become intimate with you, just because that is how I become intimate. I become intimate through emotional connection, emotional maturity, and just emotional intelligence. And I feel like we live in a generation and time where that lacks a lot when it comes to dating. So that's been my issue. So I feel like I'm the woman that gets away because I refuse to settle for a relationship that lacks affection, that lacks emotional maturity, where a man can openly express his emotions and connect with me on a deeper level where we are able to be intimate. So that is why I feel like I'm the girl that got away, all because the only reason I'm not in a relationship is because I haven't found someone that is willing to open up on a deeper level for me to feel like this is a relationship that I can commit to. I would love your thoughts and opinions, so make sure you comment them down below. And if you are new here, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you are notified from when I upload. This is Real with Yanni, and I will see you guys in my next video.